and gentlemen, you're now tuning in to the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, Fizzle, Fizzle. And this is Instinct Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
You really want to know who's on the radio? Come on. Let's talk about it.
Jeffrey. Let's talk about it live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. Saturdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Call or text in live. 478-569-6474. Hashtag Let's Talk with Jeffrey. Check us out on www.instinctradio.net or download the Instinct Radio app in your Apple or your Google Play Store.
Let's give them something to talk about.
It's almost showtime, people. Let's tune in to see what Jeffrey has in store for us tonight. And here's your host, Jeffrey L. Miller.
What's going on, folks? Welcome to Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller. I'm kicking it off the first show. Glad to be here. Glad to have you here as well. Now, I got two special guests with me, and I really appreciate them filling in for me today. I have the lovely Miss Sabrina Patrice.
Hello.
And my brother, Mr. Dave Sincere.
What's going on?
We got a hot show for you tonight. Now, first of all, we're going to start something. This is a bit of a tradition. We call this Close Your Mouth and Listen. See, you ask me some questions. I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I got some reasons why you probably are single. But this doesn't apply to everybody out there. So, ladies, if it doesn't apply to you, and fellas, if it doesn't apply to you, don't stick your foot in this shoe. But just in case it does, I want you to put your heels on and your Timbs on and walk around in them shoes because you're going to learn something tonight. Ladies, you go first. Now, first of all, ladies, you might be single because you don't bring emotional value to the relationship. I'm going to say it one more time. You don't bring emotional value to the relationship. Now, you might bring good looks. You might bring a good sense of humor. You might bring some money. But as far as being a compatible mate, you don't bring emotional value to the relationship. And I'll tell you this, a real brother, he don't stick and stay with a woman that doesn't bring him emotional wealth, because that will emotionally and spiritually bankrupt him. So I want to get some feedback on that topic. Sister Sabrina and Brother Dave, what you guys think about that one?
Emotional value.
Emotional value, absolutely.
So, yeah, I think women bring too much emotion to the table. That's what I normally hear guys say. You know, we're too emotional, and and you guys aren't emotional at all. So if you aren't emotional at all, why you need us to be so emotional? Like, what's missing?
Okay. I'm digging it. So you're saying then that the men don't recognize the emotional value that women truly bring? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, fascinating. We're going to come back to that now, because, I think you on that stuff. Brother Dave, what you think, brother?
I kind of agree with it a little bit. I mean, with the exception that guys are emotional, believe it or not. We're more emotional than women, understand. And before we make big decisions, it's a lot of emotion that goes into it. I think it's also about chemistry. I think when chemistry is lacking, that's when people expect more. They expect you to bring more to the table if the chemistry ain't there.
Chemistry's not there. Okay. What you thinking?
I'm thinking he's correct. That's what it is. I think when people meet, what they do is they meet on the visual, and they don't worry about the chemistry. It's like, I like the way she looks, I like the way he looks, and then when the emotional part come in, you already bankrupt, because there's nothing there except the physical, and we both know, well, we all know that the physical, it only goes so far. So when you have someone that you don't really have chemistry with, you don't really have that many things in common with, except for that physical aspect, then yeah, you're going to want that person to all of a sudden be all of these emotional things that you need, but they don't have them. So what you should do is look for that emotion first and then block out that physical.
Okay, now, you're talking something that sounds good in theory. But let's keep it real. We all know that the first thing we see is the physical. We don't see emotions when somebody walks up. We see their physical. So here's what I'm going to push back on. Okay. There is a point that you both are making. Yes, it is more than just the emotional part, definitely. What I'm saying is when a woman is emotionally
vested.
Well, not even vested, emotionally bankrupt, that she'll emotionally bankrupt a man. She'll suck all his energy out because the emotions that she's pouring into him are poison for him.
Oh, yeah.
So that goes to the chemistry thing. If you mix two bad chemicals together, you could get something that's explosive. So I agree with what you're saying when it's the chemistry between the two. It has to be something that's compatible. And I think both of you gave some excellent feedback because it's definitely more than physical and it's definitely more than just emotional. It's chemistry. Chemistry is the glue between the physical and the emotional.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And dealing with a woman or even any individual that's overly emotional is very dangerous because they're only loyal to how they feel. I've had my experiences with overly emotional women, and it never really turned out well because they're not vested in you. They're vested in how they feel and how you make them feel. Mm-hmm. And that's really the most important. So if you're not making them feel a certain way, then whatever agreement or whatever rules that were in place, they're out the window.
Got it. Good point.
That's a good point.
All right.
But it's not just women, it's men.
Oh, we just talking about the women right now. We just talking about the women right now. But we're going to talk about the men right now.
Okay.
There's some emotional brothers.
Oh, yes.
That's true.
Oh, yes.
All right, fellas, I ain't cutting y'all no slack now. This goes out to the fellas. Fellas, if you are single, it could be because you really are too nice. I mean, now hear me out. You know how it goes. Nice guys finish last. There is some truth to that. I had a good conversation with a friend of mine, and she hit me to some game because I went through my usual winning analogy. I said, look at Sierra. Sierra was hanging out with Future for the longest. And he basically, ran through her basically. Now she went and got her a nice guy. This young lady said, wait a minute. I can guarantee you Russell Wilson is not nice. He is a professional athlete. Some of the most confident people on earth are professional athletes. Now, he has good home training. He knows how to act when he's out in public, but I can guarantee you he is not just nice. He is extremely confident. So, fellas, you can be as nice as you want to be. Women are attracted, and this is according to my friend now, women are attracted to confidence, and that's what they find most attractive about the bad boys, or most attractive about the ruffians, or the thugged out brothers that walked out. They walk with confidence. So you can still be nice and be confident. If you're not walking in confidence, that might be why you're single. Dave, what do you think about that?
I completely agree. In Russell Wilson aspect, everyone says that nice guys finish last, but I tend to think nice guys are the ones who finish with no ASS. That's what they don't always finish last. They don't want to finish with no, what.
Yes, I love it. Yeah.
And you know what? Oftentimes, sisters like the bad boy. They like the confidence. But when, the bad boy do them wrong or when their expectations aren't met, that's when they run to the nice guys. And I think that's what happened with Russell Wilson and Sierra. She just... on top of him being a millionaire and all-star quarterback, I'm sure that none of that, I'm sure that helped.
I'm sure it did.
I'm sure it helped.
But that's on her peer level, though. So she didn't have to go down. She stayed where she was as far as her level goes.
I think she even went up.
I agree.
Yeah.
Her career has certainly gone up.
Absolutely. She's gotten more press and more marketing now that she's been involved, and now they kind of tout them as a power couple.
Her image has changed.
Absolutely. Completely.
Yeah. Sabrina, what do you think?
Well, I don't like bad boys.
That's what you
That's
say
the
for
first lie on the show right here. The first lie. What time is it? We're going to mark this down as the first lie on the show.
Actually, I don't like bad boys.
Uh-huh. I'm listening.
You're not a bad boy. I like confident men.
True.
So I like confidence, and I don't like cocky. So that's why I normally don't like bad guys, because they're overconfident.
You said normally.
Normally, yeah.
Okay.
Because I've dated bad guys. I didn't know they were bad at first.
Oh. Then when you discovered they were bad, did you dip?
I did.
All right.
Sometimes
You said it hesitantly, though.
No, 'cause sometimes, it takes a little while to dip.
A little
After
while.
you dip, it takes a little while. To,
First you dip, and then you dip, then you dip, and then we dip. That's how it goes? Yeah, all right. I feel you. Okay. All right.
To some women, they view bad boys as being more fun. When you're a nice guy, it's not fun, for a lot of sisters. And they tend to go with the bad boys until they get the feelings hurt and they have a gang of kids. And, you're getting older up in age and you can't compete anymore. And, that's when you kind of look for the nice guys. Hey, let me go back through my memory banks and find all the nice guys that I dated and did wrong. And let me give them a call and send them a text saying, hi, stranger, and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Hey, big head.
Hey,
Exactly.
big, oh,
There you
know
go.
what?
You know about that.
Makes sense.
No, I've never said the hey, big head.
Now, before we go a little further, I want to give you the callback number, or call in or text in number, 478-569-6474. 478-569-6474 if you want to join the conversation. It's about to get more heated right about now. All right, ladies. Did I do ladies or men? That was ladies. That was men.
That was me.
Ladies, here you go. You might be single because you want to be heard, but you don't want to listen. I'm going to say it one more time. Ladies, you want to be heard, but you don't want to listen. See, there could be a problem in the household, and it directly affects you. Well, that's got to get fixed. But if it's something that doesn't affect you, if it's something that may impact the man, you really don't care about that because it doesn't bother you too tough. Now, a man could express to you that he does not like broccoli. But if you cook broccoli, you will come to him and say, oh, broccoli is good for you. You need to eat it. You don't eat well anyway. Go ahead and eat it. Even though he's told you that he doesn't like broccoli. Let that man cook something that you don't like. It's hell to pay. So, ladies, you want to be heard, but you don't want to listen. Now, Sabrina, you are already moving your mouth. I'm ready. Go.
You know I don't believe that.
Uh-oh.
Because I think women tend to cater a
What?
lot.
What?
We do.
What?
And don't say I'm lying, but when we are really into a guy, and I've heard you say this before, that women give too much up front, but when we really into a guy, we tend to cater to them. So if you don't like broccoli, we don't make you broccoli. If you don't, sometimes we go as far as that we may not even eat broccoli anymore. So that's not right. If your woman is not catering to you, she's just not into you anymore.
Oh.
There we go. Now we get into the nitty gritty.
Brother Dave, what you think, brother?
I agree with her, and women treat men differently. You might meet a guy at the bar and you find out that he works for Georgia Pacific. He's a VP or something of that nature, and you're gonna hold out. You're gonna, hey, I'm gonna take it serious with this guy. I'm gonna go out on dates. I'm gonna let him wine and dine me. But if you meet a guy out, he looks like Trey Songz or something like that, and with the braids, he gonna get it tonight. So
Okay.
women treat men differently, and I believe it. I believe she's right that if a woman is truly into you, she's gonna cater. Some, because some don't know how. Some don't know how, but
He's right. He's right.
Yeah, I know you're right on that one.
He's right. But yeah, for the most part, if we into you, we gonna try to do everything to get you up.
What, you reeling them in?
Yes.
And that was the truth.
the truth they need to hear.
That's what you need to hear, brothers. Watch out now. When they reel you in now, you done got hooked.
You got hooked, but as long as you stay on the path, you don't have nothing to worry about.
Okay. Now
Stay on the path. What is that path?
I was about to ask. Now we gonna talk about that. What
Whatever
path?
we like.
Okay. So as long as you
I'm just kidding. But as long as I know, for me personally, as long as I feel catered to, then I'm gonna keep catering.
Ah, okay. Now we'll talk about that later on. Okay. All right. Now, fellas, I got one last one for you, and I really got to keep it 100% real with you on this one, fellas. You are still loving on your mother too much. In fact, you're loving on your mother so much you have not gotten out of her house yet. Now, you don't necessarily have to live with your mother to still be in love with your mother so much that you cannot attach or allow a woman to cleave to you because you got your mother blocking you. Now, please understand me. I love my mother. I haven't lived at home in almost 30 years now. What I need you to understand is that when you release your mother, you allow a woman to step in that place and be your lover. Now, mothers are supposed to set the standard. The bottom line, men, don't make the mistake of comparing your wife, your girlfriend, or your lover to your mother. That is the ultimate insult. If she cooks for you and it doesn't taste like your mother's, don't say, my mother makes it this way. It's an impossible standard. That woman gave birth to you. She's always going to have a special part. However, you got to get out your mother's house. You have to allow a woman to cleave to you on her own merits. If you do not do that, well, most women ain't going to stick by you, and you probably going to be single. What do you think, Sabrina?
We don't like mama's boys. We like for you to have a good relationship with your mom, but yeah, we hate that. Because you can say, my mom does it. Of course, you're biased, so your mom is perfect. Your mom does this the right way and that the right way, and then, I might taste your mom macaroni and be like, that sucks. But, I wouldn't say it.
Oh.
But yeah, when it's kind of like putting your mom before your woman, and we really don't want to compete with that because there shouldn't be any comparison. Of course, your mom is your mom, and I know me, moms usually like me, so I want to like your mom just like my mom too. I want her to be my second mom, but yeah, we don't want to have to compete with her. You setting the whole relationship up for failure.
Good point. Brother Dave.
Interesting you say compete. What do you mean exactly? Because your mother and your lady are both different. They're different people. So what do you mean exactly by compete?
Mama's boys will make you compete. And mama's boys, a lot of times mama's boys have that clingy mama. So it's like she's helping him compete. She's actually throwing out the competition. Oh, well, I want you to come over and do this for me, but then you had a date with your wife. But now you got to be like, okay, do I go help my mama or do I go out on a date with my wife or my girl? Okay. And some men will go help their mom and say, well, my mama called, so I had to go.
Okay. I look at it this way.
Your mama couch.
I look at it this way. You only have one mama, you can always replace your wife. Woo! Or your girlfriend. You can always replace them, but you only going to have one mom in your lifetime. And trust me, I people have different positions in life. And my mom, believe it or not, that is the only woman, your mother and maybe grandmother, is the only woman in life who will love you unconditionally. Everyone else who loves you, it comes with conditions. It comes because you do this or you do that, let you lose your job, and you're unemployed for 5-6 years or whatever. Most women ain't going to stick around and deal with that. With your mom, it don't matter. You can rob 10 7-Elevens. It don't matter. That's still my baby. You can get locked up. She's going to do whatever she can to help you out. So, we put our mothers first because they put us first.
Now, that's interesting. Now, that's a topic for another show. Look at you. That's a topic for another show. We got deep on that one. Now, here's the number again, 478-569-6474, 478-569-6474. One thing that I like to do, I like to have different segments, different topics that we talk about. So now we're going to get into what we call community conversation. Community conversation. Now, sometimes this might be something that's deep that we really need to get focused around in our communities. Sometimes we'll have special guests come in and address issues in our community. But today what we're going to talk about, can exes be friends? Now, I mean like somebody that you really, really dated. All right, let's qualify it. For at least a year, and y'all live together. Can exes like that be friends? Or you were married? Sabrina, what do you think?
Absolutely not.
This be that bull. See, that's what I'm talking about. That right there is that bull. She said no.
No, well, actually, if you would have asked me this a long time ago, I would have said no.
Okay, I'm going to interpret what she just said, folks.
Okay, please do.
What she just said is, if somebody would have asked her that before me, she would have said no. Now, let everybody know, Sabrina is my ex-wife, and I had her come on the show for this specific topic, and she was pleasant enough to come in and talk about it. So go ahead, Sabrina.
Yeah, but I think exes can be friends, and even when you end on a bad note. So, because I think we kind of ended on a bad note, but then we got past it.
We did.
And even with the guys that we didn't end on a bad note, I'm not friends with. So it's like, if we could overcome that and the divorce and everything, and we're still as cool as we are, I think exes they can definitely. It's a maturity thing.
Okay, so are you saying that? Well, tell me what you mean when you say we were able to get past the bad point, but with people that you didn't have a bad point on, you couldn't be friends with them. Explain the difference.
I had no desire to be friends with them. I only wanted a relationship, and I think we did not build our. My past relationships weren't built on friendship.
Okay.
So since they weren't built on friendship, you know how most women, as soon as she get a man, he's her bestie all of a sudden.
Yes.
That's how I was. And so, I mean, I had more years with you, of course, and, you know, our relationship was deeper, but we did become friends. So it's like, I had no desire to continue anything after the relationship because that's why I was there.
Understood.
But now, you know, with the way things have happened between us, it's like, yeah, you can become friends. But you have to kind of put your own mentality aside and be mature about it and talk things out, and it's definitely possible.
Brother Dave, what do you think?
I think it definitely depends on a few traits / characteristics. It definitely takes mature people. I think there has to be a genuine friendship. And also depends on what transpired, what went down, you know. If the communication was open, you guys were good communicators, I think that makes it better. But a lot of people who can't be friends, usually it's because one party wants the other or they couldn't deal with not having the other. I think a lot of instances that's the case.
Oh.
So what do you mean by one of them couldn't deal with not having the other?
Yeah, like, for example, someone, you know, they want a serious relationship and they think this person is the one, and for some reason that person decides that, all right, well, you know, we don't make a good couple, we're not good together, and they want to separate. And some people can't get over that, you know, they want their cake, they want to eat it too. So when people don't get that, you know, they harbor some ill will and ill feelings towards their ex-significant other. But it takes mature people to move past that. And I think as long as the friendship was there in the beginning, you know, if it's based on friendship, if that's one of the foundations, then that makes it even more better.
Understood. Let's read a couple of comments that we have on Facebook Live. LJ Davis says, leave mama alone.
That's
right.
My
goodness. So mama is off hands. You can't touch mama.
That's right. There's only one mama.
Nadale Watson, she says, yes. Okay, my brother Sterling, what's going on? John Thomas, what's going on, brother? All right, so I want to push a little deeper.
Okay.
All right, now, you are ex. How do you keep from sliding back? I mean, you know, we're cool. We've hung out and stuff like that. How do you keep from falling back in that familiar pattern and ending up being intimate again or sleeping together or whatever? How do you avoid that? Dave, what do you think?
Well, once somebody moves on and they get into another serious situation or a serious relationship, you know, that makes most guys not want to, you know, push further. All right, you involved, you got a man now that you serious and y'all might be working towards marriage. That usually deters many guys. I'm not gonna say all.
He don't want to be the side dude.
Yeah, some guys like being a side dude. Being a side dude ain't bad.
No pressure.
Yeah, no problems. Boyfriend number 2. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, I feel you. Numbers again, 478-569-6474. Now, one more question before we move on to the next topic. Does being friends with your ex, and I mean good friends, does it bring drama to your next relationship? Like, do you have your current boyfriend or girlfriend kind of leery of that person because, you know, why y'all cool? I thought y'all broke up. Does it affect your current relationship, Sabrina?
If you're dealing with someone who isn't mature, yes. However, there has to be a certain foundation. For me, because we're all older, not me, but y'all.
Oh.
So here's the thing. You have to build a stable foundation, not just a friendship, but you have people that you've known for 20 years and, you know, this, that, and the other. But you have to bring your new person into all of that. You have to make them feel comfortable. Make them know that this person isn't a threat. Let them know that this person is a genuine friend, because sometimes, you know, men can have female friends and you meet the female friend, and when the guy not looking, she giving you the stink face. And then so you like, okay, if that's really his friend, then why is she giving me the stink face? You know, like she had some plans and not just, you know, intervene. Mm. So, you know, you want to make sure that first off, that your partner is comfortable, because it's a male and a female thing,
right?
And you need to introduce those friends. Like if you have friends and this is your friend that you talk to and you're so cool, but I've never met them, and you want to hang out with them, that's a no-no.
Okay, okay, understood. Going back to Facebook, Nadal Watson, for me, once I move on, I lose physical attraction. Okay, so if you're not physically attracted to them anymore, that's an easy way, you know, not to want to slip back and mistakenly fall in the bed with them. J Davis? No, that's what I just said. She didn't say that part. Okay. Drama only takes place when kids are involved and they act like besties. That's an interesting point. Now, we don't act like besties, but we act like, you know, we know about each other and we're cool with each other. So if Dave, I'll ask this question to you. Sure. If you're with your woman and your woman has a certain amount of affection that you hear in her voice when she talks about her ex, how does that make you feel?
I don't really trip about that, because living in Atlanta, you have to develop a certain demeanor, especially with dating. You know, you pretty much assume that everybody's seeing somebody, you know, when you meet them, you know, because the options here are plenty. So, you know, you kind of walk in and assuming that, and let them earn your trust.
Okay.
You know, let them earn the trust, and you let them show you that they're serious about the relationship.
All right.
And in order to do that, you have to let people be who they are.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
And pay attention, too. You got to pay attention.
You absolutely have to pay attention, because if you don't pay attention, boy, these women in Atlanta will get you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, I got some email drama.
Okay.
Email drama. I'm going to read one of my inboxes, and we're going to discuss it right here live.
Let's do it.
On Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Phone number 478-569-6474. I'm going to read this direct from the inbox, so here we go. I was in a relationship, and I cheated on him because I wasn't happy. I got involved with a married man. It wasn't supposed to go as far as it did, but now we have been together for 8 years.
Oh.
He keeps saying that he's going to get a divorce once he gets his tax money.
Tax money coming in, boys, by that time. By that time.
But the thing about my ex is that my ex, the one I cheated with, he keeps helping me out when I need it, and he wants to marry me. But I don't want to marry him because I'm hoping the guy I am seeing now is going to divorce his wife. I asked, how long have they been married? They have been married for 10 years. So 8 of the 10 years, he's been having an affair. And the icing on the cake is he has an outside child with another woman. She asked me, what do I think she should do?
Wow.
Dave, what do you think she should do?
Man, you know, it's all types of wrongs in this right here. You know, number one, you with a guy that you really not into. So you wasting your time and his time. That's number one, you know. So acknowledge, don't just have the guy just around because he's plan B. You know, that's how a lot of women are. You know, they're not going to really make a move unless there's plan B and C in place. But second, you're dealing with a married man.
For 8 years.
8 years he's been hitting it easily. And, you know, in my mind, if whatever you decide to do is your choice. And I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong, because obviously you enjoy being in that situation. Whatever is right for you is right for you, but you got to make some changes if you want your karma to be better. If you want good things in life and you want to strive for improvement, you got to make some changes, darling.
Good deal. Sabrina, you shaking your head. What are you thinking?
I think she should go. I'm just playing. No, obviously she's not happy with the situation because she asked what she should do.
Okay. But she hasn't changed.
She hasn't changed, and I think it's because she does not know how to change. She has no sense of self-worth right now. I don't know if it's guilt. I don't know what it is, but to be in a relationship with a guy who's married and waiting on tax money that he's probably gotten 8 years already to get a divorce. Because if he waiting on tax money, I don't even know why he waiting on a divorce, because he can't have that many assets in the divorce. Is it going to be so drawn out?
He got that rapid refund. That rapid refund coming in.
He got something. He got it already.
I'm not even understanding how she got herself in that situation. Honestly, I think if the guy that she cheated on is helping her out, it's because she's struggling. So because she's struggling, she's mentally in a bad place right now. So I don't think she should be dating at all. I think she needs to take a break.
I don't think it's an issue with self-worth, because obviously this woman is putting herself first. Like, she's getting all her needs met, and she just doesn't want to change that to a degree. You know, she's not. She's not
mentally fulfilled. Like, if she was getting her, because there's a guy who's giving her, even though she cheated, he's giving her stuff and wants to marry her. But she's letting some other guy drag her and had an outside baby. You forgot about
drag her? I don't think she's being dragged.
He's dragging her.
I don't think she's being dragged at all.
She may even be giving her money to the married dude and then letting the other guy take care of it, because this is all wrong.
Now, let me ask you guys this now, because we're at the point now where we talking about somebody who grown. 8 years in, somebody telling you I'm getting a divorce for 8 consecutive years, and then saying, once I get my tax money. Every year it's an excuse. No. Outside baby.
A child support left.
Now she needs to have that conversation where she says, Barbara, this is Shirley.
Yeah.
and let her know that our husband is cheating on us.
Right.
Or your husband is cheating on us, however the song goes. The bottom line of it is, this is just not the right type of situation to be in. Chanel says she needs to be alone and get to know herself all over again. To your point,
exactly.
Sabrina. And now Nadal said, F that. 8 years, it's not going to happen.
It's not.
I agree.
It's not
after a couple of months, you get to know if somebody's serious about leaving who they're with, because their actions will begin to show it. If after a couple of months they're still making excuses, first of all, do your best not to be in that situation. Yeah. If you get in that situation and you're okay playing your role, like you saying, Dave, that works for you, that works for you, whatever. I'm saying after 8 years, to me, that's symptomatic of something bigger, because you're putting yourself in a situation where you're punishing yourself by constantly being reminded that man is with somebody else, and there's an outside child outside of you. It'd be different if you got pregnant. This man has shown you that he doesn't have enough respect for you, so he cheated on you, and you were cheating with him on his wife. It's time to move on.
But let's not act like this is a brand new situation. This happened in communities forever, it seems. You know, us growing up, I'm sure. Look at Terrell Owens, for example.
Okay.
You know, he grew up in a neighborhood in Alabama, I think, and he wanted to date a girl that lived across the street, and come to find out it was his sister. You know, his mom and, you know, her parents were married. You know, so the mom was the side woman, and end up having a baby, which is Terrell Owens, and he finds that out later on when he's a teenager. You know,
that's a bad situation.
That's not the bad part, though. The bad part is because she's asking what she should do, she wants that man to just be with her. But I'm telling you, mentally, she's just not there. If you're an adult and you're letting somebody, and I say drag because that's what I think he's doing, but if you're letting somebody play you for 8 years like that, mentally she's just not all there. It's something else going on.
I'll give it to you like this, and then we'll move on. Ladies, listen. 8 years is too long to be engaged, too long to be with a guy, too long for anything other than marriage, in my opinion. If this man has told you that he was leaving, and it's been 8 years, and he's shown you that he's not going anywhere, believe him.
Yeah,
believe what he's showing you. Believe his actions. Take his actions at face value and let it go. Now, this other gentleman that's still trying to treat you nice, that you don't like for whatever reason, I need you to get inside yourself and figure out.
What's his phone number?
Look at you. I need you to get inside yourself and figure out.
The other woman, huh? You
Figure
be the
out
other woman.
the other
I
woman.
want to talk to her no more.
But I need you to figure out what it is that's repelling you from that guy, and if you have to move on from that relationship too, move on, because you are tying him up from possibly making somebody else happy, and that's just not fair.
I'll say this too. I'll add a little bit to it.
Yes, sir.
To some women, a piece of a man that they want is better than no man.
Woo!
You know, and obviously she has a piece of this married guy. This is a guy that she wants, and for 8 years she's been kind of cool with it.
Tiffany asked, so is he cheating on both his wife and his side chick? Yes, he is.
Yep.
He was, Tiffany, and definitely I agree with you. He's not leaving. Is it LaJ Davis? That's what I'm gonna pronounce it today. LaJ. She says action speaks louder than, or actions speak volume. So you got to understand, young lady, that with this situation, that man's actions are telling you that he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
He can't be stopped because it's bad boy for life. All right, so here we go.
That's right. That's right.
What did I tell you earlier?
All right, next one. Now, this is one that's near and dear to my heart. Another good reason I have Sabrina here. Does the step parent get to physically discipline the stepchild, or should that be reserved for the biological parent only? Sabrina, what do you think?
So there are lots of factors that play into this.
All right.
And you know our situation. You know, we had a blended family.
Uh-huh.
But I don't see anything wrong with it. Because for me, you know, if the father is as active as he should be, then, you know, and then it may be an issue. In my case, the father wasn't as active as he should be. He was active by mouth, but not by action. So if you are building your little family and discipline needs to take place, then I think as step parents, you should have the right. I mean, you live in my house, and I'll whoop anybody that stays. They don't even have to be my child. But if I need to discipline you and you at my house at the time, then I might spank you, or tell your parent to come get you one. Because I don't do kids.
All right.
Good question. Good answer. Good answer.
What do you think, Brother Dave?
It's interesting, you know, because I don't have kids, but growing up, I grew up in a blended home as well. You know, my dad married a woman, and she had kids, and we grew up as brothers and sisters. And I've seen on a small handful of times where my dad disciplined them. It didn't happen often, but it brings me back to that adage that it takes a village.
Exactly.
Yep.
To raise kids, you know. And if you allow your neighbors to whoop up on your kids, then what's the difference with your husband? You know what I'm saying? If you're allowing your neighbors to discipline your kids, but it's all about respect. It's all about is that their original parents, in that kid's life. If those parents are in the kid's life, then there really won't be a need for you to discipline.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about it. All right, Chanel says that's something those parents have to come to some type of agreement because it takes a village, just like you were saying, Dave.
That's right.
All right, Andrea Bridges, she says the step parent should definitely be allowed to discipline. Tiffany agrees with you, Sabrina. All right, LaJ Davis, biological parents only unless step has been raising the child daily in their home from a young age. That's a good point. Now, I'll tell you this. Unfortunately, sometimes, ladies, you get in and you start putting your wheels in it, and you allow that child to drive a wedge between that man and that woman and you. And that child can be very, very manipulative. Now, I'm not talking that this happens in every household every time. You are supposed to check your child or protect your child, ladies. Please don't think I'm saying don't do that. What I'm also saying is that there's a point where you can make or break a situation by the choice you make in front of that child. I have a friend of mine. She got married to a very upstanding brother. They moved in together to a bigger house, the house they bought together. He brought his son in, she brought her son in, and they had, a blended family. And the young man, her young son, just started acting a fool. I mean, acting a real fool. And he bucked at the guy. Now, I don't know too many men that will take any man bucking at them in their own house. It just doesn't work like that. And immediately, that woman jumped in to the boy's side.
That's right. That's my baby.
That's exactly what she did. Now, here's what happened. He divorced her. And that young man, I think he's 26 now, is still living home with her. She can't get him to leave.
That's her man.
Because she has basically taken him on as her surrogate man.
That's right.
So, ladies, I'm just saying there's a real danger, especially with young boys, when you come in between the type of love a man instills in a young man versus the type of love a woman instills in a young man. It's different. We're supposed to push boys to be men. And what that does in the end, ultimately, is it forces them to man up. That's just what happens. So on the flip side of it, I read something the other day where a young child, I think a 4-year-old, was killed by a step-parent, unfortunately. Now, here's the thing, ladies. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about a man that will abuse your child. I'm talking about a man that has earned the right to discipline everybody in the house with his actions. He takes care of business. He leads the household. He treats that child like it's his biological child. He doesn't discriminate against your child. He doesn't treat your child differently. He treats him as his behavior warrants. In that situation, ladies, please don't come in between that, because you may be doing more harm in the long term than you are doing good in the short term. Let's see what we got comments-wise. Sterling Davis, I don't have any children, and it's hard dating women with children because they don't want me to discipline. I can understand that, but I more than likely will stay away from women with children, and that's not the easy part of being 37. That's the reality. I mean, that's the reality. Ladies, sometimes you love on your children so hard that you cripple them. Now, not every instance. I'm not saying you're supposed to just put your child in any situation. I'm saying you have to be careful. If the man is leading like a man is supposed to, and you'll know it, don't fight it. If you're walking in concert, the kids will follow along. But the minute they sense a division, they will drive a wedge in it, and they just will they'll just ruin the household if you're not careful.
That's not just a female thing, though.
Okay.
The majority of people, when it comes to their kids, they have this is my kid mindset. So no one can say anything, do anything, or they can't touch their kid. And I don't just mean physically. I mean even say anything without their permission, or either they want them to come to them and you tell me and then I'll talk to my kid. I've heard men say that. Don't let it know if someone needs to talk to my kid, it'll be me. So I think that kind of makes it hard for school. It
Absolutely.
makes it hard for, to me, that's just not realistic. Now, if you homeschool your kid, then yes, then you'll get to be the one to discipline your kid, because you're the only person who deals with your kid. But, I've seen kids out here in the street, and overall, they don't have as much respect as they should. And that's because they know their parents, the dad or the mom, is going to come to their defense.
Absolutely. More comments on Facebook. LeJay Davis says, discipline in love and not resentment because the kids aren't yours. That's a great point. And that's what I mean, ladies. You can tell when a man is acting funny towards your kids. He's always trying to get you away from the kids. He's always complaining about you always this with your kids and this, that, and the other. Or he just makes his body language changes when your child comes around. That's not the right type of man to allow to do any type of disciplining to your kids, because he's coming from a poison place. What I'm talking about is that man who is coming from love. And when he's expressing the right amount of love towards your child, then yes, that man has earned the right to be the man of the household and discipline everybody in that household. Dave, what do you think?
It's interesting. I'm kind of on the fence a little bit. Okay. I feel it's not my place to discipline your child if we're just dating. Only way I would step in is if your child is physically hurting you, physically taking advantage of you. But it's your responsibility to handle what's in your household. Mm-hmm. Or if I'm asked, then I'll step in. But normally I'm not going to jump in with a cape on my back and try to discipline your household and make it like mine. But if we're together and we've established that we've created some foundation and we created boundaries and we created understanding, and when you have that understanding, then you are operating as a family unit, a familial unit. And you can't pick and choose. You're okay with a guy providing for you and your child, but you're not okay with a guy disciplining. Woo! There's a difference.
Now, Dave, you touched on something right there. We're going to put a pin in that. We're going to come back to that one. More comments. Pam Beth Stone says, if I remarry, my spouse would have complete authority to discipline my children. If I marry him, then he will have already established a relationship with my kids and them a respect for him that I help cultivate. You as the natural parent have to set the stage. That is a profound comment because as the natural or biological parent, you have the most weight.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So when you say to your child that, listen, this is the man of the house. I am the woman of the house. We are co-parenting. I don't mean man first and then woman way down here. I mean man, woman, and children. That's right. The natural order. Even in nature, in the household, it's the parents first and then the children. Right. And the parents teach the children how to be adults. You're not really raising children. You're raising adults. Yep. So when you blend the family like that, I really think that you do have to have that conversation, be on the same page about it. And if that man is loving on those children like they're his, support him, ladies. And most times, that'll be a good thing that comes out of that. Most times.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
How would you feel if your ex was dating someone and they disciplined your kids?
Okay.
And they, took out that rawhide belt, mm-hmm. Or got that extension cord or that switch from the backyard.
Old school.
Yeah. How would you feel about that?
All right. Now, I actually had this conversation with my kids, my ex-wife, not this ex-wife, my other ex-wife. I got two of them. I'm collecting ex-wives, looking for ex-wife number 3.
3's the magic number.
There you go. 3 is the magic number. My daughter said, what would happen? What would you do if mama's boyfriend wanted to spank us? I said, now, boyfriend is different. Okay, y'all don't have a household. That's somebody your mother dates who comes over occasionally. That's different. I expect you to be respectful to him, though. I expect you to talk to him like you talk to me, the same level of respect. Boyfriend, not living together, not committed relationship in my mind, by household, that's different. I mean, if there's some glue there, you're in the same house. You don't even have to be married, but you're committed and you're working towards one goal. Then honestly, I'll have the conversation with that guy, just like I did with my stepson's father. And I said, hey, I need your support. I'll let him know, listen, you got my support. If my kids act a fool over there, I trust that you will be man enough to handle the discipline. Now, if it gets too far, that's something that we may have to tackle together. But I don't believe in the guy who's not in the house riding in to be the savior or anything like that. No, I'm going to control the house myself. Mm-hmm. And I respect another man's household if he's leading it the right way to control that house. We'll be on the same page through conversation, but that's how I would handle it.
Okay. I can respect that.
All right. I got one more comment. Tanil. All that must be discussed and established prior to marriage. I agree. When you marry a godly, loving man, then allow him to be the head of the household. If one or both have children, then you've married a package deal. Very good. Wives must endorse their husbands as the father, and the husband must endorse their wives as the mothers. Very good point. That's what we're talking about. Everything is husband, wife, and children.
Yep.
That's the natural order. Very good point. Very good point. Okay, now, I love that discussion. That's a great discussion. We're going to get a little jiggy with it. We're going to talk about some other stuff here. This is one of those situations now. I want to define the modern woman. Now, the modern woman is pretty successful. She has a established career. She's attractive. She's thought and regarded highly whenever she walks around. Very independent. Why does this modern woman, this modern independent woman, still expect, in many instances, the man to provide for her?
I think somebody called me.
That's right. Go ahead. Run out the door.
I'm going to ask that question one more time. Why does the modern, successful, independent woman still expect the man to provide for her? Sabrina.
Well, I'm actually not a good person to ask because I've never labeled myself as independent. Actually,
Okay.
don't even like the label.
Okay.
Because for me, I think that's a label that women attach to themselves just to prove to everyone that they're independent. But if you are, and if you just taking care of what you need to take care of, it'll speak for itself. So I never liked the label, but and I've never called myself independent because I feel like I need a man. So it's like, I guess because of my whole mentality of it, I expect a man to provide for me. Not necessarily financially, because I'm not as big on the finances as people are these days. It's like they have this, you got to show your bank statement and credit report and all that stuff before you can
even go on the first date.
Right.
For real.
I'm not about that. I'm
Where
not
you
about
work?
what he drives. I'm never in the dude's pocket. However, I do feel like he's supposed to provide for me. And the stuff that, when I say provide, it's not, it really doesn't have anything to do with finances. I need protection. I need loyalty. I need him to support me. Those are the things that I'm talking about when I say provide. So I can't speak to the financial aspect.
Okay, good deal. Brother Dave, what do you think?
Okay, where shall we start?
I'm gonna
Best-
let y'all have it too.
The best
right.
place is at the beginning.
All
I
right.
think there are three things that pretty much every woman wants. One is attention. Number two is security, and number three is free stuff.
Free stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Free stuff. And if you notice, this is what women, when they go out on great dates and they brag about it on Facebook or Instagram, they brag about one of those three things. And it's usually the last one.
Oh, the free stuff.
The free stuff.
All right.
So the modern day woman, it's interesting because there's really not much traditional about the modern day woman from what we see, especially here in Atlanta. People tend to claim that they're traditional only when it benefits them. Only when they're about to get something free or someone's going to do something for them. That's when all of a sudden they're traditional. But they're not traditional Sunday night when, you got to cook that 4-course meal for your family.
Oh, yes. I love it.
They're not traditional then. You know what I'm saying? They're not traditional when, the kids got homework assignment, they got a test tomorrow, and, you got some tickets to hang out with your girlfriends at the bar, to see somebody singing. You know what I'm saying? You're not traditional at that moment. So my point is, if you're going to say you're traditional, be traditional. And the modern day woman right now, I just don't see it with many.
Okay.
See, I'm traditional though.
Okay.
By what standards?
By the old school standards, I'm traditional.
What's old school? What do you mean? Break it down for us when you say you're old school. Because you
Man,
don't,
why
you don't
you
look
ain't-
old school.
I know, I look new school, right? I told you I wasn't old. But, but you already know. It's like I have older parents, and my parents have been married for 53 years. So I know the whole background behind, I know what I've seen. And that's kind of like what I do. However, I expect a lot for it. So I expect, because I'm traditional, I kind of expect a traditional man. The only variance from that is that I do expect to be treated like an adult. So just because I let you lead and I let you have, the final say, I'm still an adult. So you can't tell me what to do. You can, we can talk about it. But as far as that, I would put the home first. I don't just go out and hang out all the time, especially when I'm single now. That's different. But when I have a man, I don't go out all the time. If we go someplace, he can even be my boyfriend, and he can say, "Hey, babe, go fix me a plate," and I'll go fix it. He can say, "Hey, babe, bring me something to drink," or I'll normally already know what he likes to drink, and I'll just bring it to him. So I'm traditional in that aspect. I don't look traditional, and I don't dress traditional and that stuff. But I cook, I clean, and then I cook more than I work. And I don't think because I work.
She is lying.
Every night. What are you talking about?
She is lying.
He ate every night.
Did he good?
Even though I work too. So,
She lying.
See,
Look, I ate every night because I cooked too.
You did.
Thank you.
But you did. But who cooked the most?
Me.
Stop lying. See, now you lying for me.
Now the truth coming out. Now the truth coming out.
He did not cook the most. He might cook.
Next topic.
And it's always tacos or spaghetti.
Next topic. It's time to move forward now.
Yeah.
Next topic.
No, but yeah, I'm traditional. But I get what you're saying. You're absolutely right when you say that. Because most women do like free stuff.
I think a lot of women, and I can't really be mad, and I'm not mad. I'm not angry about it. But I understand this fairy tale syndrome and Tyler Perry movies and stuff like that.
Fairy tale syndrome. Speak on it.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no fairy tales for black men, especially black men. There's no fairy tales for men, but in particular black men. No one's going to run to run to help us. No one's going to run to save us. No one's going to come in and buy us all this stuff, and we don't have to do anything to earn it. Everything we've gotten in life, we worked for and earned it and worked towards.
You're supposed to. Okay.
Okay. But
all right.
In the same instance, women don't believe that. If you were to tell a woman she has to work for this or earn that, they don't want to hear that. They just want it given to them.
We do work.
In what way? We're listening.
I mean, we work the same way guys work.
Yeah, okay.
That's why women try to be on the same level as men all the time. It's like when you ask for something, they be like, "I work too." I know you hear that all the time. I